Hello, welcome. If you're new here, I'm a digital business owner, writer, and mentor, and I teach people how to build profitable digital businesses using a powerful blend of strategy, identity shifting, and mindset training. I don't just teach what to do, I help you become the version of you who naturally attracts and sustains abundance. So today I'm talking about 10 ways to rewire your brain for abundance. I can see there's no one in the stream yet, but I have a time constraint for this stream, so it will go up on my video list. So you get a chance to watch the replay when it gets uploaded. But today's stream, like I said, is 10 ways to rewire your brain for abundance. Because money starts in the mind before it ever shows up in your bank account. So this live stream is pretty special because it's day 5 of my 30-day live streaming challenge, and also day 13 of the Digital Abundance 33 challenge, or the 33 Digital Abundance challenge, showing up daily, embodying consistency, and building wealth in real time. So if you want to go deeper, the Digital Abundance 33 challenge link is in the description, and you can join us for the challenge. And it is something that we are going to be doing pretty much every month. So when this 33-day challenge is over, we're going to do another one. And so the next one is actually going to be 33 days of live streams connected to the 33 Digital Abundance Challenge. So if you're looking to earn some extra cash online while learning real digital skills, make sure you also join the Remote Tasks Club, which is in bio. Link for that is in bio. So let me wait a little bit, maybe a couple of minutes. And then we'll jump into the 10 ways to rewire your brain for abundance. This is actually an article that I wrote. I wrote this article, I published it on Vocal Media. So if I remember, I'm going to leave the link for this article in in description as well. So you can read it and you can save it. Listening to something is cool, but sometimes it's nice to actually sit down and just scroll through something and read and then take notes as well, copy and paste a few things. Hi, how are you? Where are you from? I'm good, how are you? Where are you from? Today we're talking about 10 ways to rewire your brain for abundance. So it'd be great to know where you're from, what you do, what you are interested in. Alabama. Hey, from Alabama. What are you interested in? Do you have a digital business? Are you trying to build a digital business? What's your thing? Are you interested in building wealth? My thing is building digital businesses. That's it. I'm a writer and digital business owner and mentor, and that's what I do. Oh, you're a gamer. Okay, cool. What games do you play? Do you stream with your games, or you just game for fun? Is it something you do for a job, or is it something you just do for fun? Now I'm going to get into 10 ways to rewire your brain for abundance soon. But it would be nice to know what people are doing here. You don't have enough subs. Okay. How many subscribers have you got? You know, I had a channel that had 20k subscribers, and I moved away from that channel and building this one. Fortnite, okay. Yeah. Are you looking to be a pro gamer or just for fun? And it doesn't matter if you don't have enough subs, you can still stream. That's the reason why you would stream, to get more people into your channel. So you can do a challenge. You can do like a 30-day challenge and stream daily to help yourself along the way, because that can help you to build more subs. I have another channel, a manifestation channel, and towards the end of last year, I was on 300 subscribers. And then I did, not the end of last year, but like in the middle of last year, and then I did a challenge where I did a live stream every day for about 10 days, and it helped me to build my subscribers up. I got up to 1,000. I think I'm on 1,300 or something. Yeah, but you have to produce more content. I mean, how much content have you got on your page? You need to produce a lot of content. Just put more on there, more up there, and eventually you will get subscribers. It takes time, but you have to just keep producing content, and that's how people are going to see you. You know, if you don't have enough content, you won't get enough subscribers. So you have to just keep posting. Just keep posting. Do a challenge. Do like a 30-day challenge and just post every day. Even if you don't have time, just do like 30 minutes a day of streaming and just one video. Okay, that's not enough. You need to post more. If you've just got one video, that's why you have 2 subscribers. You need to just keep posting every single day. You need to post every single day. Anyway, I'm going to get into the stream, into the topic of this stream. And it's about rewiring your brain for abundance. Because one thing as well that helps with building anything you're doing is your mindset. And if you don't have the right mindset, then you can work as hard as you can and still see no results. You know, because most people, they work based off motivation. So you have to feel like working before you work, but actually you should just work anyway, regardless of how you're feeling. Obviously, if you're really sick, then fine, you can't really do anything about that. But if you are perfectly fine, healthy, you want to be doing as much as you can in order to build yourself build whatever you're doing to a certain level, and then you can kind of slow down a bit and get help. So if you're building a business or you're building a channel or something like that, then you can eventually get help with like editing and other stuff like that. But you need to build a routine, a consistent routine of producing and posting content, plus engaging with others, and just stay completely focused on the input. Meaning, you say to yourself, I'm going to produce this amount of content per month, and you just have to stick to it. You can't just sort of focus on the fact that you've got less subscribers, or focus on the fact that, you know, you're not seeing much results. You have to focus on the input. So you have to focus on how much you are doing. So that's the only thing you can actually really control, is how much you're doing and how much how much you're putting into it, how much content you're producing, and your mindset and how you think about things, how you think when it comes to your ability to actually put things out there and remain consistent as well. Anyway, like I said, this stream is about 10 ways to rewire your brain for abundance. So I'm going to get into the 10 ways. There was a time in my life when I thought I was doing everything right. I felt like I was, but nothing seemed to move. I was reading so many books, I was making plans, I was dreaming big and still checking my bank account with a sinking feeling in my chest all the time. It felt like life was sort of happening to me. And I was watching from the sideline, so I didn't really feel like I was in control of what was going on. And then one small moment completely shifted everything for me, and that was I was sitting down and I was thinking, why is this thing not working? I noticed something, and every thought I had about money and opportunities and success sounded like a warning to me. It sounded like, it's like I always felt uncomfortable around this idea of building wealth. And I realized that my brain, it's like it wasn't wired for success or expansion. It was wired for protection. And so that made me realize that I needed to change something. Abundance is not only about money, it's about the mental patterns that decide what you notice, what you believe, and what actions you take on a daily basis as well. So the brain is, I don't know if you've heard of something called neuroplasticity, but you can completely rewire your brain by changing your thought patterns. And how your brain changes is by repetition and experience. So you can train it to expect more from life. So this is what you're going to do. These are the 10 things you're going to do to train your brain and to rewire your brain. So you're going to change the evidence that you collect. And what that is your brain constantly scans the world for proof of what it already believes. Okay, so if it believes life is difficult and opportunities are rare, it will find proof everywhere. So the moment you start tracking wins, progress, and opportunities, you feed your brain new evidence. So you want to write down small wins daily. Over time, your brain updates its reality map. So small wins, you want to write them down. Small wins, you want to celebrate them. You want to train your brain to expect more by repeating consistently affirmations that confirm that you are successful, or that things work out for you in your favor all the time. Okay. Hi, Anna. Welcome again. We're doing 10 ways to rewire your brain for abundance. I don't know if you heard the first point about changing the evidence that you collect and how your brain constantly scans the world for proof of what it already believes. I don't know if you heard that part. And so the moment you start tracking wins, progress, and opportunities, you're feeding your brain new evidence. So writing down your small wins is a really good thing to do. So that's the first thing. The next thing that you can do to rewire your brain for abundance is to upgrade. Yeah, Anna, the beginning part was like a lot of sort of general chit chat with people in the chat, but I get into it. I think around 10 minutes into it, I start talking about it. So the next thing is to upgrade your inner narration. So your inner voice shapes your identity. And most people think they need motivation, but what they actually need is a more supportive internal narrator. So instead of saying, this never works for me, say, I am learning how to make this work. And the brain listens to repetition more than emotion. So instead of saying, this never works out for me, say, I am learning how to make this work. So the more you repeat that, the more your brain will get used to that, become accustomed to that. So you're changing your inner dialogue. The third way that we can rewire our brains for abundance is to practice the skill of receiving. And this shift, it surprises many people actually, because when someone offers praise or an opportunity, the instinct is often to deflect or question it. Think about when someone offers you or someone gives you a compliment. If you are someone who really struggles with receiving, you often sort of say, oh no, it's nothing. You know, or someone might say, oh, you look nice today. And you might say something like, oh, I'm really tired. Oh, I look really tired today. Instead of you just saying thank you and accepting that compliment, you sort of deflect it and you want to say something to counteract what that person has said. Abundance requires the nervous system to feel safe receiving. So accept praise, accept help, accept payment without guilt as well. And each time you do, your brain learns that receiving is safe. I'm going to say that again because I think it's really important. Abundance requires the nervous system to feel safe receiving. So you want to accept praise, accept help, accept payment without guilt. And each time you do, your brain learns that receiving is safe. So that's important. I actually have an article about this that I've written. I've published it on Vocal Media. So I'm going to, I hope I remember, but I'm going to leave a link in the description for this article so you can actually save the link and you can read it whenever you want to read it. So, yes. The next thing is to act like a person who expects results. Identity drives behaviour more than motivation. So when decisions come from the mindset of someone who expects growth, actions change. You follow through more. You're also going to take bolder steps. And the brain learns through action, not intention. The brain learns through action, not intention. So you want to act like a person who expects results. You know, there's a way you can do this. There's something that's a trick that I use, and I'm a natural overthinker. Yeah, you came on here the other day, Michelle or Mazza. Anyway, you know, I'm a natural overthinker. I overthink everything. And so what I do is, instead of overthinking in the negative, I like to overthink in the positive. So I flip the script. Because I can see your name. Anyway, I flip the script. So I completely flip the script. And so instead of saying, oh, what if this doesn't work out? What if people don't care about my content? What if nobody buys my digital products? I always overthinking the negative. And I'm like, yeah, what if thousands of people purchase my digital product? What if thousands of people watch my videos? What if thousands of people... And I just keep repeating that over and over and over again. And that eventually becomes normal to me. So instead of continuously not expecting that things will go well, I begin to expect things to always go well for me. I always think in my favour. There's a lady on YouTube called Project Rook. I always forget her name, but her channel is called Project Rook. If you type it into Google, into YouTube, you'll find her channel, Project Rook. And she talks about this all the time. She talks about continuously thinking in your favour. Just choose the version of yourself that always thinks in your favour, instead of always thinking that things are going to go wrong all the time. Oh, you start a business, oh, it's going to go wrong. I mean, who starts a business thinking that it's going to go wrong? I mean, you shouldn't. You should always start thinking that things are going to go well. Well, I mean, you can. I will circle back to it in a second. I'm doing this 10 ways to rewire your brain for abundance. So if you can definitely tell your story in the chat, and I'll acknowledge your story once I've finished or once I've got to a certain level with this. Also, it depends on what it's about. Is it a positive story? So you can definitely type in your story. I'm going to continue on with what I'm saying, and then I will circle back to your story, if that's okay. So the next thing is to design your environment carefully. The information you consume becomes the background noise of your beliefs. So constant exposure to negativity programs scarcity. So you want to replace some of that input with stories of creativity, innovation, and people building meaningful lives. This is about your environment in terms of, your mental diet as well. Okay, that's interesting. Your mental diet as well, what you watch, who you hang around with, who you spend time with the most, who you, what you do on a daily basis, where you live, all that kind of stuff. And sometimes you can't control where you live straight away. And so if you can't control where you live straight away, then you need to find yourself in places once in a while, the kind of place that feeds your curiosity, the kind of place that feeds your creativity. So if you live in an area where that's not really available, then you can go to art galleries whenever you have time. Okay. Ben, I had a friend called Ben at one time. Ben, or is it Ben or Benjamin? Anyway, I digress. Let's get back to this topic. You want to build evidence through small tasks, small risks. Big leaps are glamorous, but small, consistent risks retrain the brain. So post the idea, launch the product, share the work. Each action tells your brain that visibility and opportunity are survivable. You don't have to take huge, massive risks. You can just, like what I just said, post the idea, launch the product. That's the reason why I love digital products, because they're risk-free. Yeah, you spend a bit of time creating the digital product and all of that, but how much do you really lose by creating one and putting it out there? How much time do you lose really posting a YouTube community post or a quick short or a quick TikTok video? Your whole life, the whole trajectory of your life can change by literally posting one piece of content. The next thing is to separate worth from outcomes. When the brain believes failure equals danger, it resists action. So when outcomes become feedback instead of judgment, experimentation becomes easier. So abundance grows in environments where experimentation feels safe. This is a really important point here. Abundance grows in environments where experimentation feels safe. So you want to do more. And I don't necessarily mean do more, like trying so many different things at once. But if you're someone who, you want to build a digital business, and you know that the first step in building a digital business is putting something out there, not necessarily something out for sale straight away, but putting something out there in the form of content in order to build an audience so that you actually have an audience to sell to in the first place. You want to just do the thing. And you can do an experiment by saying, okay, let me do a 30-day challenge. I'm a massive fan of 30-day challenges. Let me do a 30-day challenge. I'm going to post every day. I'm going to post every day for 30 days, and I'm going to keep posting. And then you're going to see what happens at the end, and you're going to analyze your results. And that's what's going to give you some feedback for the next step, which will be another 30-day challenge, doing the same thing, repeating the same thing over and over and over again, and then you'll get some feedback. There's a guy on YouTube, I think his name is Stacey Brown, and he did a 365-day YouTube challenge in Thailand, and at the end of it, he realized that he wanted to continue because he had achieved so much in that time and seen so much growth in that time. His feedback at the end of it was, actually, I should continue doing this. Create repetition through rituals. So the brain loves patterns. This is where I mentioned about the challenges. You can do challenges like 30 days of journaling, visualization, or intentional planning. You can create that, help to create familiarity. And familiarity creates safety, and safety eventually creates momentum. So you can do these rituals like journaling or visualization or affirmations, and these things, you're doing them like law every single day. And you can do like a challenge. So right now on my other channel, I'm doing 30 days of robotic affirmations. And it's actually something that I do anyway, but I'm doing 30 days of religious robotic affirmations. So I'm doing them every single day, 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, and 10 minutes in the evening with no negotiation. It's non-negotiable. And so you can create the repetition through the rituals, and that's what's going to train your brain to feel safe. Celebrate progress before perfection. So waiting until everything is perfect keeps the brain in hesitation mode. So celebrating progress teaches the brain that movement itself is valuable. Next, choose expansion daily. Abundance is not a one-time mindset upgrade. It's a repeated decision to think bigger. It's a repeated decision to think bigger, act braver, and stay open to possibility. Months after that afternoon realization that I had, life began to feel pretty different for me, and opportunities started appearing. Ideas felt easier to execute, and the biggest change was internal. So my brain stopped bracing for disappointment and started looking for possibilities instead. So, that's the magic of rewiring your brain. The world may not change overnight, but your relationship with possibility does. And that's a good thing, and it changes everything. It changes everything. Okay, bye, Michelle. It changes everything. One of the things you can do straight away right now is to stand in front of the mirror and repeat an affirmation, whatever the affirmation is that's going to help you at this specific time in your life in terms of building whatever you want to build. For example, if you want to be, or if your goal is being a content creator, you want to start saying, I am a content creator. You don't want to just say it like I want to be a content creator. You can say, I am a successful content creator. I am a successful content creator. I am a successful content creator. You can keep saying this over and over again. And it's going to really help you to build this belief that you are that thing. And the thing about affirmations is that often people think that you're saying affirmations to get something, but really you're saying affirmations to remind yourself of who you actually are, especially if deep down in your soul you believe that you are this thing. So, for example, you're building a digital business. What affirmations can you say to help you to build a successful digital business? I'm going to give you some examples of affirmations that you can say to build a digital business. Yeah, definitely. Anna, it's amazing just recording your voice affirmations, recording affirmations using your own voice, and then just listening to it over and over and over again on a loop is so powerful. It really does help to prime your subconscious mind, especially if you listen to it as much as you would listen to music or something. So on a day where you're just cleaning, you're cooking, you're doing stuff, running errands, just have it in your headphones and just walk around with it. And it just keeps you in the state. It really keeps you in the state. Like, you feel this feeling of, you feel energized when you keep listening to it. You feel energized. And the beauty of the Parrot app, Anna, is that you can record as many affirmations as you want. It's really, really good. You can record as many affirmations as you want. So you can have different affirmations for different areas of your life. And you can choose to listen to one affirmation for 3 days straight. And then you can choose another one. So you can have an area of your life, finances, relationships, health, mindset. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Like, you can just listen to it while you do housework. So you don't have to sit there and say, right, I'm going to do a 10-minute affirmation saturation session. Even though I like doing that, I find that if you were to just listen to it throughout the day without sort of creating this rigid routine, it's just going on in the background and it's priming your subconscious mind without you even having to think about it. Because I think some people prefer routine and some people prefer to just have no routine and have a more relaxed way of doing things, because sometimes the routine can actually cause the resistance, because you're always thinking, oh, I need to do this thing now. And so it starts to feel like a chore. And when it starts to feel like a chore, it can build resistance against the thing you're affirming for in the first place. And so it's a good idea to just listen to it while you're doing housework. Because think about it. It's like having one of those walking pads. You know those walking pads that people buy? And when they're working, they're walking. So they're killing two birds with one stone. And they don't feel like they're actually doing anything because they're working at the same time. And so you can get in 20,000 steps in a day just by walking on that walking pad and working at the same time. And it's the same thing with the affirmations as well. You can get in all your reps. Yeah, exactly. Bounce it, yeah. So tying it to housework, it feels more automatic. It doesn't feel so rigid as well. Because you know what, you can actually say affirmations in your mind and you can just, repeat them. But I feel like when I have to say things in my mind wanders off and I start thinking about other things. But if I have something playing in my ear, especially if it's my own voice, it sort of triggers the thought. And so I'm repeating it as I'm listening at the same time. I'm repeating it in my mind. And sometimes I'm also repeating it out loud as well, just like you would when you sing, when you're listening to music. It makes sense, doesn't it? When you're listening to music and you're singing along to the music, you're listening to it and you're singing along, naturally just singing along. It's like it's automatic. You don't even really think about it. You just naturally start singing along. So if you're listening to the affirmations that you've written, that you've said yourself, you've repeated yourself, you've recorded yourself, you naturally start to repeat it under your breath and it starts to become automatic and you just start saying it. And then sometimes you might not even be listening to it, but because you've been listening to it so much, just like those viral songs that you hear on TikTok and all these platforms, sometimes naturally, automatically, you start singing the song because it's been ingrained in your subconscious mind. You start singing the song and you're like, why am I singing this song over and over again? It's annoying. But the same thing starts happening with the affirmations. You start to repeat them without even thinking about it. It becomes automatic. It becomes part of you, and you begin to really believe everything you're saying. That's the reason why I like to listen to these affirmations, sometimes for the entire day. Sometimes I listen to it for the entire day. Like, how I'm doing housework, I'm just going to the store and doing whatever I'm doing, and I just like to have it playing, even if it's not loud. And it really helps. It really, really does help, especially when you're affirming for something very, very specific. Let me ask you a question, Anna. Are you someone who, do you lean towards a specific belief system when it comes to manifestation? Like law of attraction or law of assumption? You know, they're those two camps, two main camps, law of attraction and law of assumption. And obviously there are others as well, but law of assumption and law of attraction. Neville. So law of assumption then. The thing about law of assumption, though, is it's quite interesting because I hear a lot of advocates of law of assumption talk about robotic affirming. But then when you actually really dig deep, robotic affirming and Neville Goddard's beliefs and his methods, techniques, they don't really connect with robotic affirming, because he talks about feeling being the secret and how important feeling is. And so you have to feel the emotions when you're, so if you are saying any affirmations or you are visualizing, the purpose is to get into that feeling state. And so pinpoint the emotion you would feel if you've made $20,000 from your digital business, and actually get into that emotional state. And that is what's going to help you to manifest that thing. Well, the thing about the law of assumption is that they don't believe in you calling something into yourself. They believe that you already have it, and all you're doing with the affirmations is reminding yourself that this thing already exists. That's what I feel as well. The robotic affirming helps my brain as well believe it enough to get to that feeling. Exactly. That's how I feel as well. But those real strong advocates of law of assumption, they don't believe in robotic affirming. They feel like it's against what Neville Goddard says. But I actually feel like it falls in line with it, you know, because I remember when I was in school, when I was learning my times tables, and I remember the teacher saying to me, forget about all of the different aspects of times tables and just memorize it. She said, forget trying to understand why 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals this. She said, just memorize it. And so I just memorized all my times tables. Within a month, I knew all my times tables up to 12 because I just memorized everything. And I said it robotically. And once I started to remember everything and I could recite everything very quickly, I started to fall in love with the process of actually multiplying, because I started to believe that I could understand something because I remembered all of those times tables in 30 days. And so that's when I started to really fall in love with math. I mean, I wouldn't say fully fall in love, but I started to like maths more, because I was like, oh, I memorized all of these. And then I started to dig deeper into it. So with the robotic affirming, when you get into that feeling after affirming for a certain period of time, that's when you start to feel more relaxed and at ease, and you start to really believe it. And that's when you start to act as if, and you start acting in a certain way, you start thinking in a certain way, you completely change your whole behaviour because of it. So you get the foundation in place, exactly. Exactly. So, for me, when I'm building a digital business, for example, like say I'm building another digital business, another digital income stream, the first thing I do is think of an affirmation that I can say every single day robotically. And then I'm like, what action steps do I need to take every single day? So what inspired action do I need to take every single day? It doesn't have to be anything too intense. And then my goal is to repeat these affirmations and repeat the action step for the next 33 days minimum. And by the end of that 33 days, I start to feel so confident and I see results. Even if it's not massive results, I see results. I see movement. And so that's what gives me the feeling. And then I just keep going. I keep pushing. I'm like, right, I'm going to do another 33 days. I'm going to do another 30. And I just keep going. You see, so when you think about it, repetition is so powerful for everything in your life. Repetition is just so powerful. It really is. Doing the same, even when it comes to things like running, like building a running habit, you want to say, okay, right, I'm going to run for 5 minutes every single day for the next 30 days. By the end of that 30 days, you're going to be confident enough to say, right, I'm going to run for 10 minutes for the next 30 days. And then that's how you're building a habit. And it's the same thing with, building any kind of manifestation routine, and then eventually building a routine to build upon the things that you've already done for the success that you want from, whatever you're doing. So, Anna, I've seen that on your TikTok. I mean, you've got over 1,000 followers on there. How long have you had your TikTok page for? And did you use any affirmations or anything like that to build your TikTok, or were you just kind of posting randomly and not really thinking about it very much? Because I know with TikTok, once you get to 1,000 followers, you can actually add links in your bio, and that should help with sales of whatever you're selling and stuff like that. Oh, it was random. The thing about TikTok is that there is some random element to it. Like, you can just post a video and it could just go viral. And that video can just change everything. I've noticed that with TikTok. I mean, that TikTok page that I have is a newer page. Okay, yeah, that's what I remember when all that stuff was happening. My TikTok page is a newer page. I have 2 pages, but I had another page that had 20k followers, and the page got taken down. The page got taken down, and it was like, there was no reason why it got taken down. It just disappeared. Couldn't find it, couldn't log in. And they said that it had been hacked or something, and I couldn't get it back. But that particular page, I hardly did anything. I posted 4 videos, and 1 video went viral. But when I was posting that video, I remember what I said before I posted that video. And I said, why does all my content go viral? And that video blew up, over 500,000 views. And I got so many followers from that video alone, and everything just blew up from there. And then the channel the account got taken down. That's the problem with social media, though. Like, you don't want to put all your eggs into it. And that's why I tell people to build a real business outside of social media. Otherwise, yeah, I've had quite a few experiences of going viral, Anna. And it's a gift and a curse. Going viral is a gift and a curse, because if you don't know what to do after you've gone viral, you can just waste the virality, and end up just feeling even more depressed. Because often people chase virality thinking that that's what's going to change their lives. And then when it doesn't, they're like, oh, what did I do wrong? But actually, there's a lady on TikTok, I can't remember her name, but she posted, at one point she was posting 25 videos a day. It was an experiment that she did. And it just completely changed her life doing it. But the reason why she did that was because one of her videos went viral. And so she decided that instead of to just sit there and just kind of hope that that viral video was going to change everything for her, even though she got a lot of followers from it, she got thousands of followers, I think even hundreds of thousands of followers from that one video. But she said, do you know what? I don't want to rest on my laurels with this video. She did a massive rampage and she did 25 videos a day. I mean, that's difficult for a lot of people to do, actually. Most people can't do 25 videos a day, but I would recommend, after going viral, just striking while the iron is hot and replicating the videos that you've created that went viral. When I say replicated, I don't mean just completely copying it, but taking the elements of that content and repeating it. For example, there's this guy on TikTok, and I don't know where they're from. They're like Latin Americans, but I'm not sure where. I think they're from Dominica or something, Dominican Republic. And on this TikTok page, the guy made one video, and the video was a really weird kind of concept, but he tells his little cousin to do something to annoy his mum, and he was going to pay him money to do it. And the boy would go and do it, and then he would pay him money. When the video goes viral, he'll pay him money. And one video that he did, the first one, went mega viral, and he kept replicating it, doing different things, like telling his cousin, do this, now do this, and I'll give you $100. Do this, and I'll give you $100. Do this. And the whole page is about him annoying his mum, about him telling his cousin to annoy his mum. And he kept repeating the same thing over and over again. And so that's the way forward. Like, take the elements from that video and just repeat it, whether it be video or articles or whatever it is, and just repeat it. And you can even think about doing a series just to whet people's appetite more and more, because it's shown that people like that type of content. So just keep well, it is fun. It's actually quite funny, actually. I don't even know how I came across that content, but it just popped up on my feed one day, and I watched it, and I was like, this is funny. And then I watched that he did another one similar. So you just have to keep doing that. When you know that people like something, just instead of trying to go in the opposite direction, because that's what sometimes people do. They think, people like my content now, so let me just post a bunch of other random stuff. But really, the solution is staring you in the face. Post this because people like this, people enjoyed this, and so now I need to just repeat it. And you don't want to wait too long. You don't want to be like, I've had this viral piece of content, let me just wait for a month and then post again. You have to strike while the iron's hot. You see the videos going viral, you let it sit for a bit, maybe a couple of days, and then you're now gonna start posting again. You're now going to start posting again and just keep going. So Anna, are you on? So you're on TikTok, but do you post content here on YouTube? I don't think I've actually been to your channel and looked through any content or anything. I'm going to end this stream soon. But if you... Oh, you've got 5 channels. Do you know what? Yeah. I resonate with that. That, I've got... Right now I have 2 main channels, and I do have some other faceless ones, but I don't really post on those, but I post on these 2 main channels. The other channel, the manifestation one, I only just recently started posting again because it had just been stagnant for a while. But you know what? I would really recommend that affirmation subliminal channel, because those kind of channels can completely blow up if you really stick with it and stay focused. right now I'm doing an 8-hour stream on my Manifest Everything Always channel. I'm doing an 8-hour stream right now. It's on OBS. So far I've done 2 hours of the stream. So right now I'm on this stream, but I'm streaming a manifestation video, manifest money in a time crunch, rampage affirmations, on the other channel. And I had another channel, which was a manifestation one, and yeah, I had it on. I started 2 hours ago with it on. I put it on OBS Studios, and it just streams it automatically. I don't have to do anything. But yeah, definitely those kind of channels are really cool because you can do this kind of thing like what I'm doing. Just do a stream, an endless stream, or like a 10-hour stream or whatever. There's one guy who, like, my son told me about this guy. I don't know his name, but he created a video where it was just a fireplace, and he's streaming that video for, I think, years even. He's made millions. I think he's been streaming it for years, that particular video, and it's just a fireplace, literally just a fireplace, just burning fire, and it's just, he's made so much money. Yeah, you can go for, I mean, I've never been for more than 9 hours with this OBS thing, because I was doing it at one point. I think I have about 9 videos that I had streamed like that, and the maximum I ever went was 9 hours. I always feel like if you go beyond like 10 or 12 hours, it's just going to switch off. You know, I was watching a video, one guy said that the ambience videos have been banned, and I don't know how true that is. Like those ambience type of content, they said that it's not, like, they're not monetizing it or something. I heard that. I don't know how true it is. Like one of those channels, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a particular channel where the guy talks about YouTube. That's all he talks about. So I don't know how true that is. Yeah, I've heard that they don't get monetized now. And I don't know even if this manifestation one is going to get monetized again now, because they said that they're cracking down on these channels that have no one talking on them, that it's just like some kind of swirly images, and they don't want it. Yeah, but the lady High Frequency, I don't know if you know High Frequency Guru. I don't know how she's really making money then, because she does memberships. She has like memberships on her page where people pay for the members only content. But she's been monetized, like fully monetized, because she has adverts, and also the membership thing. You can't get that unless you're monetized, the membership option. But her channel was deleted at one point, and they put it back on again. But it got deleted at one point. For a few days it was gone, and everybody was fighting to get it back. But I'll see. I mean, I've got lots of digital products for sale, and I don't really have affiliate links for my manifestation channel, but I've got digital products. So that could be an option as well, just using it to sell digital products and also for brand deals and stuff like that. So there's this new app called Stella. I don't know if you've heard of this woman called Hot High Priestess. She's like really popular manifestation creator, and she's created that app called Stella. That app is a paid app. I believe that she's going to be looking for people to promote it for her, you know, because even though she has a large following of her own, she's obviously going to want to expand it just beyond her page, promoting it on her page. So I believe that an app like that would do like brand deals and stuff like that, and they'll pay you to promote and stuff. So there is a lot of scope for brand opportunities for manifestation channels. Yeah, the lady, she's called Hot High Priestess. She's on TikTok and on YouTube, and I think she's on Instagram as well. And she is someone who, I don't think she invented this method, but she popularized it. It's called the I Simply Decide method. And she talks about how if you want something, you want to manifest something, you just say, I simply decide. Yeah, AdSense is just one way, isn't it? You know, the beauty of AdSense, though, is that you know you're getting a monthly paycheck, regardless. So even if you only earn $100 a month from your channel, you know that you're getting that monthly paycheck. Whereas with like the brand deals and all of that, you have to kind of either apply for them or put yourself out there to say that you're available for that. And obviously with affiliate links and digital products, you have to sell them. So if they don't sell, you make no money. So that's the only thing. So it's good to have AdSense for that monthly paycheck, I guess. Yeah, you should definitely look her up. Hot High Priestess, definitely look her up. Anyway, I'm going to leave the stream here, but thank you so much for watching and listening. I mean, because it's a faceless one. I really appreciate your support coming to my page on a regular basis. I really do appreciate it. But definitely, you need to, Anna. You definitely need to do your affirmations channel, because it can be a really successful one if you were to stay consistent with it. But anyway, there are many ways to support my channel as well. I've got links in the descriptions and stuff for my Digital Abundance Challenge and my scripting stuff and all of that. So take care and have a wonderful day. Speak soon. Bye.